start with the umpires then. Did you get your response, and what did you make of it?
Yeah, look, I had a chat with the umpires advisor today. Got some clarity around some of the issues that we had, and we move on. I mean, I think it's fair to say, upon reflection, there was a number of free kicks which were our doing, and we've got to improve in those areas, and we'll keep focusing on doing that. But it certainly wasn't the reason we lost the game of footy on Saturday night. So, we got some clarity and we move on.
So what were the main issues? What were the main issues that the club had?
Oh, it was probably a bit around the consistency of some of the interpretation, and some of the decisions, whether it be the holding the ball or the high contact. They were the main ones.
And are you satisfied with the response, Don, that you got? Has it cleared it up in your mind?
Yep. I mean, really, we just need to know so we can coach the players accordingly, and we'll give them the feedback so they understand exactly how the game's being interpreted and umpired, and we'll let them do their job and we'll get on and do ours.
I think the AFL said they admitted they made mistakes for both sides, so is it nice to... I know
no. There's mistakes made in every game, whether they're between players or the umpires, and we made our share on Saturday night as well. So look, we move on now.
I think David King last night on the couch said that he believes that the Crows need to change the game plan. He said a great side to watch, but he thinks to go deep in September, Adelaide needs to make some changes. What do you take criticism? Do you think that you do need to change some parts of your game to match it with the very best sides, or are you comfortable with where you're at?
I think I've always said we're continuing to work on our game plan and continuing to improve, and that's our aim. And we've got clear areas we want to improve in. Where they take us, I don't know. I'm not into predictions and forecasts. At the moment, what I know is when we play and we play the way we want to play, we can play some powerful footy and some really positive footy, and we've done that for long periods of the year. But there's areas we want to get better at, and we keep working on those.
What is it about Geelong that poses the biggest threat to you guys this week?
Oh, look, they're a fantastic team. They're in great form. Got a high quality midfield group, which is giving good supply to their forwards, and so they're really evenly balanced, and they're playing some really good positive footy.
They bat really deep with the midfield as well. Is that a case that you can't get too focused on one or two individuals because the third, fourth bloke come in and could take the game away from you?
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, we're at a point where we've got to acknowledge they've got strengths across each line and they've got some depth through there. But we'd like to think we've got a fair bit of that as well. So it's going to be a great game and a good test for our guys.
If one of them, being Patrick, gets off the chain a bit and starts racking it up, are you likely to put a tag on him at all, or do you back your midfield just to go head-to-head with these guys and Joel and the rest of them?
And we'll assess that in terms of match committee. We haven't had match committee yet in terms of our final plan about how we go into the game. So, we're mindful they've got some quality in there, but we've played sides that have had quality midfields throughout the year. We had Bulldogs on the weekend, Hawthorn before that, Sydney. We've experienced that, so we'll be backing our guys in.
What will it be like having Patrick Dangerfield back playing his old team?
What will it be like?
Yeah.
Well, he's a player that's obviously been at this club, but he's a player that's now playing at Geelong. And as I said, we've encountered games with high quality midfielders at other teams. So Mitchell, Hanbury, these guys that we've played against recently. So we'll treat him as another player on a side and an opponent we want to beat.
How would you like to see the fans treating? I mean, he seems the type of bloke that if you boo him, he might go a bit harder, sort of.
Oh, look, that's really up for the fans, not for me to suggest how they treat him on the night. As I said, we're going to focus on playing Geelong, not necessarily playing him.
Do you feel your team defence is working, Don?
It's a work in progress. We've got some areas we keep wanting to improve in that area. And clearly on the weekend we conceded a number of inside 50s, and some of those came from areas which we've looked at and we think we can rectify. We'll keep working on it.
How do you address the ball coming out of your forward 50 too easily?
Well, not sure that's totally the case. I think there's times where that happens. It's probably the reality is the game on the weekend against the Bulldogs is we lost it at the source. We lost it from the contest, and that gives field position immediately. So it's a major focus for us this week is to make sure we bring a real energy and hunt around the contest so that we win our share.
There's been a lot of commentary about Tex again this week. I think in the paper today, Kane Corn suggested that he should be rested. Is there any consideration from your end, or is he 100%?
No, he's ready to go. He's recovered, and as I said last week, he's in a headspace where I thought there were some really positive signs for him last week. He had a game where he could have quite easily taken another 5 or 6 marks, so he's in a really good headspace. His body's on the improve, and I'm expecting him onwards and upwards from here.
You're a very measured man. Most of the time in the box you look very calm, very serene, but on the weekend it's probably the most animated we've seen you. Is that Does that happen regularly, or is it just that it was the emotion of the game?
Oh, it's a little bit of emotion of the game. It was probably, you know, I probably need to check myself at times as well. It was probably a little bit of frustration throughout the course of the day. I mean, we weren't playing as well as we wanted to. The pleasing part was we put ourselves in a position to still win the game, and we weren't playing as we wanted. But, you know, all credit to the Bulldogs. They played really well. In terms of my attitude in the box, work in progress as well, I guess.
Don, do you think that there'll be more than one change, assuming that David McKay doesn't come up from his hamstring?
Yeah, well, look, it's unlikely that David's going to come up, so there's going to be probably a minimum of one change, and I'd expect we'll talk about it as a match committee. I sort of can't hold match committee here. We've got to wait till we get behind the doors and talk to the guys and see how they train tonight.
Wayne Milera is okay, ready to go. Yeah.
You've spoken in the past about Docklands being hard to bounce back from for some players, and given the short turnaround, does that mean some players might need to be managed differently in this week?
Oh, look, we've got a 6-day break off Docklands, so I spoke to the players yesterday. Most of them have pulled up reasonably well from Saturday night's game, so we have a run tonight and give them an opportunity to sort of get going again. But I'd expect through our PPT guys, they've done a great job throughout the year, so Brett Burton and his crew will get the players ready to go Friday night.
Josh Jenkins has been enormous. Is there any development on his how likely it is that he sticks around at the club?
All those talks are ongoing, as I understand. That's sort of being dealt with through our list management, and they're making progress, which is pleasing.
Does his performance on the weekend highlight how important it is to your structures to keep him in?
Oh, we'd clearly like to have Josh stay at the footy club, and that's our intention. That's what we're working towards.